Well, we're all set and ready to go from Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo. And in the ring at the moment, taking instructions from referee Lou Scozza, are on your left the familiar Adrien Baillargeon, one of 6 wrestling Baillargeons from Quebec City, Canada. And on the right, now removing a brilliant red jacket, a brand newcomer to Memorial Auditorium Wrestling, billed as the Kansas Tornado, Bobby Orton. Baillargeon weighs 237, and Orton tips the scales at 261 pounds. Orton sporting a brush cut, a comparative youngster in age at 29, but despite that, he's been wrestling professionally for 13 years, which makes him a real veteran of the game. Well, we'll have to see how Mr. Orton operates, along what lines. We know Adrien Baillargeon, or Baillargeon, as he tells me the correct pronunciation is. We know that Adrien will play it clean just as long as his opponent will do likewise. Right now, it's Baillargeon applying pressure with an arm lock to Bobby Orton, making his debut here tonight. This guy Orton comes well recommended. It may be an indication, and again it may not, but he received his early instruction and, in fact, took instructions for several years from the 5 Dusics: Ernie, Rudy, Joe, Emil, and of course the Dusics, among the most famous grapplers ever to ply the trade, are renowned still for their unorthodox tactics. Orton on top now, applying a press to Baillargeon, who heaves him off, but can't get loose entirely. And Orton takes him to the mat and applies pressure with a headlock. And he's really pouring it on. Flipped over, but comes up with the head scissors. It's easily seen that Orton is a newcomer to these parts. He's as brown as a berry, and it doesn't look like a sun lamp tan either. He's been wrestling, apparently. He's coming in from the west in comparatively warm climes. That time Adrien gets off the hook. Now he's applying a press to Bobby Orton. Orton trying to kick his way loose on the far side of the ring. Thus far, this match has been wrestled according to Mr. Hoyle. It's highly debatable that Adrien will be able to effect a pinfall. He lost the advantage, and Orton now applying the arm lock. Down with the knees in the midriff, and maybe we're going to get a start of the rough stuff. Now, Orton's pulling something there that's beyond my vision. Now he's got the knee under the chin, scraping both knees along the side of Adrien's head. That's good for the ears. Well, now he's really beginning to turn on the steam. And the crowd yells for referee Lou Scozza to break it up. But Lou apparently hasn't seen anything illegal, although there's been plenty of it going on the last minute or so. But sort of subtly illegal. Tough to catch. Baillargeon in danger. Whirls out. pretty good elbow smash. Landed alongside Adrien Baillargeon's right eye. So Mr. Bobby Orton takes him down with a hip roll. And applies pressure with a headlock. A couple of years after Bobby Orton got his professional start, he's being stood on the shoulders again, but gets off the hook. It was touch and go whether he would be able to continue his career. He suffered a slipped disc in his back and was bedridden for several months. Wasn't able to move. And bedridden, he wasn't sleeping on a inner spring either. He was on a straight board. But he finally recovered completely and has been among the top men in the game ever since. Baillargeon with a head scissors. Lou Scozza counting. Scozza had ordered a break before Baillargeon came up with the head scissors. And Adrien, although victimized, and for whom the break was ordered, ultimately suffered a disadvantage when the break was completed because he had Orton and a pretty good head scissors. Headlock by Baillargeon. Across the knee for additional leverage, or the upper thigh. Crowd gives Baillargeon a nice hand. They like him, as they like all the Baillargeons. There are 6 of them in the family. Adrien is the second eldest. Lionel beats him in age by several years. Adrien weighs 237, but he doesn't look it. He's a weightlifter, and most of that good weight, and you can see the muscles bulge as he applies the pressure with the headlock, is from the waist up. And he's really pouring on the core with that headlock. And through that brush cut, I can see, but you probably cannot tell, that Bobby Orton's head is turning bright red from the pressure. Now, this is the second time Orton has used this method of breaking the hold, grabbing the left leg and bending it across the knee, applying an effective toe hold. And Baillargeon was forced into the ropes. Hair pull, wrist lock, and the boots to the stomach, right where Mr. Baillargeon lives. Well, he got him front and center that time. Rabbit punches, kick to the chest, and there's a knee to the chin. And it's done so fast, it's pretty difficult to detect. This Orton has very fast hands and fast legs. Bobby Orton flies to his wrestling engagements when they're a great distance apart. He is the flying enthusiast. Drawing the forearm across the eyes. That's an elbow smash, and now Mr. Orton beginning to show the results of the Dusick tutelage. The only thing is, I doubt that any of the Dusicks would have waited this long before cutting loose. Maybe Bobby was trying to make an impression. Well, he may have made one for a moment, but he's lost it by now. The crowd is onto him. But Orton can wrestle, too. He's one of the best in the business. It's a head scissors and an arm lock. So Mr. Baillargeon is in double jeopardy. You saw that, I'm sure. He cut loose with that knee, landed flush on the chops. And Adrien Baillargeon is tied up tighter than a 5-year-old's shoelaces. Out of camera range, with bodies blocking the view, Orton had an arm lock while applying also a head scissors, now a press. Not likely to get a fall. But he can weaken his opponent and probably has. Flips him over, comes up again with the combination head scissors, wrist and arm lock. If you watch closely, you'll probably see Bobby Orton cut loose with that right leg again with the knee to the chin. As soon as the referee, well, now he's doing a little tickling with the elbow. Massaging Adrien Baillargeon's short ribs. Boy, try that for size sometime. Most annoying. Adrien Baillargeon or Lou Scozza orders a break. And now he remonstrates with Bobby Orton. Orton, a real good athlete. Boy, he almost punted Baillargeon right out of the ring there. Wham! That one from right field. Mr. Orton is on the run, off the ropes. And finally out. And Bobby Orton has lost all interest in the proceedings, at least temporarily. Now he's about 5 rows back ringside, giving and taking a little bit of abuse from the crowd. Now he gestures to Adrien Baillargeon that peace, it's wonderful. Adrien asks the crowd, shall I let him have it or should I accept his apology? And you could hear the crowd's reaction. Down goes Baillargeon and a step over toe hold. Applied by Bobby Orton. The blonde giant from Kansas City, Kansas. Those right hands are landing. But they didn't do the trick. Bobby Orton can throw punches from all angles, and he does. Now he's had the gag on Baillargeon, and referee Lou Scozza ordered the break. Oof. So Orton will be on a milk diet. He threatens to put the crusher on Lou Scozza, and that would be a sad mistake. For those of you who are unaware, Lou Scozza formerly was a high-ranking light heavyweight contender when that division was really active a couple of decades ago. And one of his most remembered fights was with the title, or for the title, with Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum right here in Buffalo, and they had a dandy. The old-timers still talk of it. They're not the real old-timers either, because Lou Scozza is not that old, neither is Maxie Rosenblum. Some of the customers are taking dead aim at Bobby Orton, throwing some debris into the ring. I hope their aim is good because in the past it hasn't been, and I have caught it. Bobby Orton is issuing a blanket challenge to anybody in the house or everybody. Discretion is playing the better part of valor collectively, and not a soul took him up on it. Myself, I would have been delighted to go in, except that he issued the challenge to the other side of the ring. That's the only thing that kept me back, as well as a desire to keep on living. Baillargeon resting on the middle strand of the ropes. The left side of Adrien Baillargeon's face is pretty red from the forearms and right-hand smashes that Bobby Orton has tossed his way. You saw that. And Adrien took offense. There's a knee drop. Going to try to heave him across. Can't do it, so settles for second best, and Bobby Orton is in trouble. Here we go. Down goes Mr. Orton, holding his aching head. There's an Orton rally, and he's firing punches from all angles. But he's lost most of the steam now, off the ropes, and runs right into an Orton knee. Again, and down goes Adrien Baillargeon. A kick to the back, another one, and Adrien is on Queer Street. There's a monkey flip. Setting him up again, possibly for the crusher. Once more, Bobby Orton, a knee to the throat. Hops aboard. Let's see if he's got it. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Adrien couldn't get him off. So Bobby Orton debuts with a victory tonight over Adrien Baillargeon, and we'll have the official time in just a moment from ring announcer Manny White. Orton, not liking the temper of the crowd, wasn't particularly keen on waiting for the decision. He wanted to head for the clover and the safety of his dressing room, but was prevailed upon to wait. So Bobby Orton, in 16:21, throws Adrien Baillargeon with a body press after setting him up with knees to the stomach. And I got news for you. Bobby is not going to be very popular around these parts.